Guys, you need to grab your seats and hold on tight because the landscape of Port Charles is about to be absolutely shattered. If you ask me, we are looking at the most explosive casting development in years, and my gut tells me that the arrival of Tristan is going to rewrite everything we thought we knew about the power dynamics in this town. You know as well as I do that when a name like Tristan appears, it carries the weight of history, and I am convinced this is no coincidence. We are on the edge of a precipice, staring down into a chasm of secrets that have been buried deep beneath the surface of the Corinthos Empire. The air in Port Charles feels different lately, heavier, like the calm before a massive storm that is going to wash away the status quo and leave us reeling. I have been analyzing the threads of this mystery for weeks, and every sign points to a monumental shift that will leave the entire Corinthos clan scrambling for cover. We have to talk about how this sets the stage for a total internal collapse. If you ask me, Sonny has been operating on borrowed time for way too long. With his current focus split between his fragile alliances and the ever present danger of his enemies, he is more vulnerable than ever. I suspect that Tristan is not just another face in the crowd, but a tactical strike aimed directly at the heart of Sonny's operation. You can practically feel the tension vibrating in the halls of the hospital and the back rooms of the penthouses, as if the walls themselves know that a storm is brewing. I think we are about to witness a collision of generations that will be as tragic as it is inevitable. The way things are shifting in 2026, it seems that every alliance is paper thin and every secret is just a whisper away from being blasted over the airwaves, causing absolute chaos for everyone involved. Guys, let us consider the implications of a hidden sun surfacing now. We are talking about the ultimate disruption. If Tristan is truly the product of that legendary connection between Sonny and Brenda, then we are looking at a living, breathing reminder of the one love that truly defined Sonny's past. I can only imagine the look on Sonny's face when he realizes that his own blood, raised in a completely different world, has arrived to claim his legacy. You have to wonder how Michael will react to this, especially with his current, rather ruthless agenda. If you ask me, Michael is not going to take kindly to a new player, especially one with such a strong claim to the throne. The friction between them is going to be electric, and I predict we will see some of the most intense, high stakes drama we have had in years as these two brothers or rivals clash over the future of the Empire. If you ask me, the psychological toll on Sonny is going to be immense. He has spent his entire life building a wall around his family, protecting them from the darkness that he calls home. But how does he protect himself from his own flesh and blood? I think we are going to see a side of him that is desperate to connect, but terrified of what that connection means for his son's soul. You know that Sonny always believes he is doing the right thing for his family, but what happens when his family no longer wants his version of protection? The idea that Tristan might be more cold-blooded, more calculated, and frankly more dangerous than his father is a terrifying prospect for everyone in Port Charles. We could be witnessing the birth of a new kind of mob leader, one who does not suffer from the same emotional weaknesses that have plagued Sonny for decades. I truly believe that the arrival of Tristan marks the end of an era. The way he approaches the business, the way he negotiates, the way he looks at the people who have been loyal to Sonny is all going to be different. If you ask me, he represents a younger, sharper, and far more lethal version of the man we have watched for so long. We are not just talking about a power struggle. We are talking about a fundamental transformation of the underworld. You have to wonder if Sonny has the strength left to fight this battle, or if he is simply going to be overwhelmed by the very legacy he created. Every time I think about the potential for betrayal, for backstabbing, and for the eventual showdown between father and son, I get chills. This is the kind of storytelling that defines the show, and I, for one, am here for every single second of this madness. Guys, consider the possibility that Brenda might be pulled into this. If she is the key to this entire puzzle, her return would be the ultimate game changer. We have seen how her history with Sonny can tear everything apart, and if she arrives to find her son taking over the life she tried so hard to stay away from, the emotional fallout will be catastrophic. I suspect that Tristan has inherited more than just a last name. He has inherited that same fire, that same unpredictability that made Brenda and Sonny the most volatile couple in the history of this show. You can see the pieces moving on the chessboard, and it is clear to me that we are heading toward a confrontation that no one will be able to walk away from unscathed. The stakes are simply too high, and the players are too dangerous for this to end in anything but total devastation. If you ask me, the most fascinating part of this is going to be the internal restructuring of the organization. Tristan won't be playing by the old rules. He will likely look at the current state of affairs, the mess with the current rivals, the crumbling trust, and see an opportunity to purge the dead weight. We might see a series of power plays that leave us all stunned. Think about the potential for unexpected alliances. Maybe he reaches out to those who have felt slighted by Sonny over the years, turning his father's own allies against him. It is a classic move, and if Tristan is as smart as I think he is already 3 steps ahead of everyone else in town. The way he navigates the social and criminal circles of Port Charles will be key, and I suspect he will be a master of manipulation. We must also look at the impact on the younger generation. How will Jocelyn or even Spencer, in his own way, be affected by this new player? The power vacuum is being filled, and the ripple effects will reach every corner of the city. I think we are looking at a total shift in the hierarchy of power. If you ask me, the writers are setting us up for a long term arc that will take us through the rest of the year and beyond. This isn't a quick fix or a simple storyline, this is a foundational change to the show's lore. You can feel the weight of this, the way it lingers in every scene, the way it forces us to reevaluate every action Sonny has taken in the past year. We are being asked to look at his failures through a different lens, and it is not a pretty sight. Guys, imagine the tension of a dinner table scene at the penthouse. The silence would be deafening, with unspoken accusations hanging in the air like smoke. Sonny trying to play the father, trying to guide his son away from the life, while Tristan sits there with that cold, calculating look, already planning his next move to dismantle the very protection his father is offering. The irony of it is almost painful to watch. I think this dynamic will be the core of the show for a long time. It is a classic Greek tragedy playing out in modern day Port Charles, and we are lucky enough to have front row seats to the entire slow motion collision. The acting alone will be worth the price of admission, as the chemistry or lack thereof between these two forces will dictate the tone of every episode. If you ask me, we should be prepared for some major casualties. I am not just talking about physical ones, but emotional ones. We might see long standing relationships crumble under the pressure. The loyalty that people feel towards Sonny will be tested to its absolute limit. Will they stick with the old guard, or will they jump ship to the new, more efficient, and seemingly more powerful successor? I think we will see a lot of people choosing sides, and the consequences for those who pick the wrong one will be dire. This isn't just about the mob, it is about the soul of Port Charles and who gets to decide its future. You have to wonder if anyone can truly win in this scenario, or if everyone will just end up destroyed by the time the dust settles. We have to talk about the inevitable betrayal. It is the hallmark of this kind of story, isn't it? Someone is going to stab someone else in the back, and it is going to be the most shocking moment of the year. I have a feeling it might come from someone we least expect. Maybe a trusted lieutenant, or even a member of the family who decides that Tristan is the future and Sonny is just an obstacle. The paranoia is going to reach an all time high, and I think we are all going to be guessing until the very last minute. If you ask me, the unpredictability is exactly why we love this show so much. We think we have it all figured out, and then the writers pull the rug out from under us, leaving us breathless and begging for more. I really think we need to pay attention to the small details. The way someone looks at a document, the way a phone call is handled, the subtle changes in the way the business is conducted, all of these will be clues. Tristan is going to be a master of detail. If you ask me, he has been preparing for this his whole life, even if he didn't know it. The way he carries himself, the way he speaks, it all points to someone who has been training for a moment of supreme importance. You can see it in his eyes, that hunger, that need to prove himself, to claim what he thinks is rightfully his. It is a dangerous combination, and I think we are all in for a wild ride as he begins to assert his dominance over the city. What about the hospital? We know that the medical drama is always a backdrop for the chaos, but what if Tristan has a connection there too? Maybe he uses the hospital as a front, or maybe he has allies in high places that we haven't even seen yet. The possibilities are endless, and I think we are only scratching the surface of what this character is capable of. If you ask me, the more we learn about him, the more we are going to realize that we have been living in a bubble, and Tristan is the one who is going to burst it. It is exciting, it is terrifying, and it is exactly what we need to keep the show fresh and engaging for years to come. Guys, don't sleep on the emotional connection. Even with all the power plays, there has to be a human heart beating somewhere inside Tristan. Or does there? Maybe that is the real mystery. Is he just a machine? Or is there a boy who is just looking for a father's approval? If you ask me, that is the most interesting question of all. If he is just a villain, he will be easy to hate. But if he is a complex, flawed, and deeply hurt individual, he will be one of the most compelling characters we have ever seen. I suspect the writers are going to take us on an emotional roller coaster, making us love and hate him at the same time. I can see the finale now. A showdown in the middle of the night at the docks with everything on the line. Sonny, broken and tired, facing off against his own legacy. And Tristan, standing tall, ready to take the reins, come what may. It is going to be epic. We are going to be talking about this for months, maybe years. I have been covering this show for a long time, and I haven't been this excited about a new character in ages. If you ask me, this is going to be the defining arc of the decade. Just remember, in this town, the only thing more dangerous than having enemies is having family. Good luck to everyone in Port Charles because they are going to need it once this train leaves the station and starts picking up speed.